Good morning, it's Valerie. It is a brutally cold day today. It has gone from 50s and 60s to the lower 30s. With the wind chill factor here, it feels like it's in the 20s. So, today is not a really good day, and I chose to either get up and get through it or stay in bed. And I had to take my granddaughter Hope to school, and you see, today is our Gracie's birthday. She would have been 7 today. And this is by far the hardest day since the day she passed. Last year on her birthday, I told her how happy I was that she was born and that she was growing like a weed. And she didn't like that comparison, so I changed it quickly to, "You're growing like a beautiful flower," and she was good with that. Little did we know it would be her last earthly birthday. Well, this morning, after I made the conscious decision to get up, I started out to the car and to warm it before I picked Hope up. And I don't know if I got tangled up in my own feet, if my head felt a little funny when I woke up, like maybe I was experiencing some vertigo, which I've never really had. So I don't know what it was, but I took a pretty good tumble, and it took me a couple of minutes to get up. And then when I did, I felt kind of nauseous. And anyway, I went back into the house and laid down for another 10 minutes or so, and I got up and felt okay. So I went ahead and took her to school. And I came back from school, and I've had this soap on my mind since yesterday morning, and I said, making soap is the one thing that I find comfort in since Gracie passed. And she loved being down here when I was making my soaps, and she loved using them. She loved giving them to her friends and her teachers. So I decided that I was going to do that today. And I hope I can get through it without any mistakes. My tripod went wonky on me yesterday. So I've got another one on order. I'm hoping that it's not going to spit my phone back out at me. It won't. I hope I'm not cockeyed. But anyway, I'm going to compose myself and share with you. I love orange. I'm on an orange kick. I eat a couple a day. And so yesterday when I went to the store, I bought a bag, and a couple of them were overly ripe, and one of them was not ripe enough. So I squeezed it, and I'm going to be using 6 ounces of fresh squeezed orange juice as my lye liquid. I've done it with lemon juice, but never with orange juice. And then a couple of ounces of water. And then I'm saving out 3 ounces to add 1 during the cook of coconut milk, and then 2 ounces for after. And I love calendula, and so I'm thinking of making this a sunny kind of soap. That's what I need today, is sunshine and a little happiness. I know we're supposed to take comfort in the fact that Gracie is turning 7 in heaven, but her physical earthly absence is so ever present, and it's so brutal, that it's hard to find beauty when she's not with us, we had plans for her too. She had plans. So anyway, I'm going to try, and I want to make this a two-toned soap. I want to do, number one, I don't know what color I'm going to get. Because of the orange juice, I expect it to be a little dark. I don't know, maybe not. And then I want to do, whatever I do color scheme, I want the natural layer to be the lightest, with some calendula swirled through it. I love calendula, and it holds its color. It holds its pretty color. Doesn't turn brown and ugly. I may grate it up just a little bit finer, or I may leave it whole. I haven't decided. And then if the batter's workable enough or easy enough to color, then I may infuse it with some, I may color the other half with some turmeric infused almond oil for my second color. So I'm going to go and get things ready. And I ran this through this calculator this morning. SoapCalc wouldn't load for me. Kept saying the site wasn't available. So I worked up my recipe from Soapy, which is another good one. That's the one I use when I make all of my shave soaps, because it calculates the dual life for me, and I don't have to use this brain to work math. So I will see you back in a few minutes, and I will give you my formula. Well, I'm ready to mix my lye with my orange juice, and my oils are at 176. My crock pot is on low. I hope the angle is okay. Ever since yesterday, when something messed up with my tripod, I have a funny angle on it, so you're getting a bigger view of my background and my stuff. It's been about 30 minutes. I'm moving a little slow since my fall this morning. I scraped up my left knee, and my right hip is really sore, and so I'm moving a little slow. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started by mixing my lye together and see what color we get. I'm expecting it to go really a bright orange, but we never know. I don't know if I can tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to, I had this positioned to where I thought you could see it. Let me bring this over, see if you can see that a little more, and then I'll hold it up. Then I'll just have to rearrange everything. So, here we go. I'm adding it slowly. Yep, it's going kind of an orange. There it goes. See that? And my orange juice was cooled, and it was strained of all the pulp. It's got a nice foam on it. See? And once I get this dissolved nicely, I'm not going to worry about letting it cool any, because my oils are already probably going to be up to about 180. I just want to make sure all my Tussah Silk is dissolved. And that's the color that we have. I decided today to scent this with orange 10X, which I love, a little lemon 5-fold, and a little ginger. The ginger will just give it a little grounding, I guess you would say, and I love the combination. So that's what I'm going to be scenting with today. And as soon as I get this in here, I just feel so discombobulated today. I will give you my formula. So right now, whoa, my oils are at 192, and that's on low. Boy, it creeps up on you fast. And my lye is at 190, so let's get this show on the road. Pouring down the shaft of my stick blender. I did remember my gloves today. Pretty yellowy color. I'm gonna scrape this out. I think that's a piece of silk. It's okay, it'll get blended. And I've got to run over and get my 1 ounce of milk that I wanted to add. I'll be right back. Well, I said run. I'm not going to be running anywhere today. It's a pretty color. I'm going to bring it to a medium to thick trace, and I'm already at well, I'm almost at a thick. And I'm up to 208, and that's with my crock pot off. So this is probably going to go kind of fast. We'll see. Well, now we're getting into the separation. I'm just going to keep going. Probably going to get a big volcano that I need to be ready for. Going to keep you on so you can see this happening. So I wasn't expecting this. When this happens, when it starts to get really thick, I'm at a thick applesauce. I just give it little bursts of this so that it doesn't burn out my stick blender. And this hasn't even been 5 minutes, and I'd say in the next 5 minutes it's going to be done. It's just a guess. And there is no heat on this except what is in this cooking unit, because my temperatures are off. I'm at 220. Starting to transition over into mashed potato. Just gonna leave it right there for a minute. See what it's gonna do. I didn't get the volcano. If I'd have gone a little further, I would have, and it still may. May have to bring it, do it again. Either that or just whisk it. I'm just gonna watch it for a couple of minutes and see if how it decides to cook. While it does that, I may cut it back up to low, just because I don't want it to start losing too much heat. I was going to go over my recipe today. I chose to use 10% castor, 15% cocoa butter, 12% coconut oil, 14% mango seed butter, 35% olive oil, and 14% shea butter. I wanted to do a 3 butter soap today, a triple butter. And that's my formula. I superfatted up front at 5%. And I'm going to be adding an extra 3%. Well, no, 2% after the cook. And I'm using half mango butter and half camelina oil. And I think I told you about the fragrance. It's a little ginger, and the majority is going to be, it's over there heating, is orange 10X and a little bit of lemon 5-fold. So that's this recipe, and as I said, I had to run it through Soapy instead of Soap Calc because I couldn't get Soap Calc to load for me today. So I don't know if they're having some issues with their website, but anyway, it's still separating, so I have a feeling I'm going to have to do it again. And when it gets back and transitions over to Vaseline, we'll come back. Okay, well, it is cooking nicely, and I am between a mashed potato and a Vaseline. That was about a minute and a half since I cut you off and brought you back. So it never did give me a big volcano. I don't know if it's still thinking about it or what, but I went ahead and cut my crock pot back to off. And I can still hear it popping and cracking. It's going to give you a temperature here. 216. And I do think what I'm going to do is use the natural base to put my calendula in, because I think it'll get a little lighter when I add my additives. And do some turmeric on the bottom. Either that, or I may try some sea buckthorn on the bottom. I do that occasionally. I think I'll do that. Just because I can. Which is why I did the orange juice. I've never done orange juice. But I decided to try it, and just to go with the theme of the soap. Lemon juice was nice. It worked out well once or twice. So, and we have a really pretty Vaseline, mashed potato Vaseline. Almost all Vaseline. So I'm going to remove this from the crock. From the cooking unit, I'm sorry. Get this out of the way. And going to take a little bit of this out to do my Sap Test, which is the only way that I ever check for lye in my soap. I've never used the drops. I've never used the strips, but that's entirely up to you how you want to do it. But I encourage you to always check it in some way. Okay, I'm going to let this cool, then come back and do a Sap Test and proceed from there. Okay, well, this is kind of gross. It's green-orange, which I'm beginning to wonder, you know, I've been having some trouble in between when it goes to Vaseline of turning sometimes a green. And I'm wondering if that's not what happened this time. So, we'll see what we get. I'm going to go ahead and start adding my additives, and then I'll decide about color. First thing I'm going to add is my super fat of mango seed butter and Camelina oil. And that's 2%. I don't use Camelina seed Camelina oil very often, but I saw it up there and I said, well, you know, I better start using this before it expires. It has a year left, so I'm okay, but I see a lot of people use it, so I thought, well, I'd give it a try. It's supposed to be a nice luxury oil. And the next thing I'm going to add is my yogurt, which is 2 tablespoons for a 2-pound batch. And I'm adding this. It's at room temp. It's been out for about an hour, so it's still a little cool. And I'm going to mix it in really well to keep it, as I always tell you, to keep it from sticking to the sides and the bottom and creating little pieces of cooked dairy in your soap. And see, that's lightening up, which I'm glad, because this crock is still really warm. And it can cook your yogurt and your milks if you're not careful and diligent about stirring. I know some of you are probably thinking that my lid doesn't fit exactly right, and you're right, it doesn't. I dropped the lid that goes with this a couple of weeks ago, and I just had an extra other one, so I used that instead. And now the next thing I'm going to add is my hot coconut milk that I had left. Oh, I've already got it. Sorry about that. And like I said, you can see the steam coming off, I'm sure. Adding a little at a time so that it doesn't cook. Let me check this number. Spam. Is anyone else getting inundated with spam calls? We are self-employed, as I've told you before, and we even get spam calls on our fax line. People are just desperate. Okay, that's all of my coconut milk. I love coconut milk. And that's shaping back up into a pretty creamy color. So maybe I will get to add some color for a bottom layer. Now, the next thing that I usually add is my honey that I have mixed with apple cider vinegar and sodium lactate, but I never do that unless it is, my batter is 170 or below. Number one, I don't want it to scorch. And when you mix your honey with something like apple cider vinegar or aloe vera juice, the chances are a lot less of scorching it, and it spreads it through the batter more evenly than just plopping some honey down in there. So that says I'm at 168. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes and before I proceed and decide about my colorant, and then I'll come back when I'm ready to proceed. Okay, what I did was I mixed up a little bit of turmeric with just a little bit of paprika, just a little bit, because I don't want it scratchy, because I do want it to give it a darker color. So I'm down to 165, so I'm going to go ahead and add my honey and my apple cider vinegar, which is 2 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and 2 teaspoons of sodium lactate. And yesterday when I added this, things really thickened up, but now today it's doing what I wanted it to do. So this is what I mixed up. Don't know exactly how much color I'm going to get, but just even if it's just a little contrast. And then in goes I have part of my essential oil blend in this other cup, and then the rest of it goes in here. And it smells heavenly. just love citrus, especially orange. And with that little bit of ginger, just gives it a nice, deep. A little bit goes a long way. Okay, so I'm going to pour off a portion, maybe half. And my batter is not, it has no lye in it. It's just warm, so no worries about me cleaning off the side of the crock pot with my bare hands. That's a little different. Yep, it's nice enough. I don't want to go too much. Just enough. And I'm going to grab my mold and we'll get started. Okay, I opted to do my tall skinny mold today. I don't do those very often, but I just wanted something different. And I've got about a half a cup of calendula petals. I decided not to chop them up. I'm just going to stir those in so that hopefully they'll peek through the lighter color. And I think you can see that. I'm just going to get my darker color into the mold. It's not that much darker, but it is a little contrast. And then the calendula petals will even add a little bit more. I love calendula, and I don't know if I told you that when I mixed, sorry about that, banging you down to keep the air bubbles out. When I used my olive oil, I used Calendula infused for a lot of it. I'm just going to pour the lighter. I thought about doing a pencil line and I said no, just going to do this. And I don't know if this mold's going to hold it all. May have to get out some, ouch, shoot. It's not hot around the rim, but it is when you get down below that. I'm surprised I have fingertips left. Let's pick it up and scoop the rest of it. So that's really all there is to this. I just wanted to let you see what colors and things evolved from using the orange juice. It's probably not a lot different to using the lemon juice, but I just felt like talking with you all today and sharing. So, with that, I will just say, if you're blessed enough to have grandchildren, which I still have 9 living, maybe you could spend some time with them today or give them a call and just tell them how much they mean to you. Because I'm living proof that we never know from one minute to the next when we won't have that person. So thank you for sharing with me, and I'll see you for the cut.
So I saved this little bar that was scraped out of the crock pot and put it in an individual mold. I love these little things. And I'm bringing it upstairs to do a lather test of my calendula and orange juice soap. And I have to say, I wouldn't change anything about these soaps except the bottom. I would have tried to make it a little bit more, a little darker. But I am very happy. It's not quite as bubbly as I prefer, but it is very creamy, very smooth. And this is the first time I've taken any off of this bar, so let's see if I can get it any more. I mean, the lather feels great. And you can see that it's plentiful. It smells amazing. So I'm very happy. I needed a happy smelling, happy feeling soap today, and I think I have it. And I know in a couple of weeks this is just going to be another amazing one. I will say that this is the second time that I've made a triple butter soap. And I know a lot of people love them, and they are nice. But this is a great substitute if you don't want to use any animal fat or palm oil. But that's nice. It's really nice. So thank you for watching another video with me. And as always, I look forward to sharing with you, and hope I'm not a bore to you. Have a good night.